Let's jump to our resource pack directory and get this framework class started. So we'll copy over our 31st step, which is called framework.php, isolating our framework code into its own file, and we'll paste it inside of our application folder and rename it framework.php. And if you look at the instructions on the next step, that's the 32nd step, it just says to create a folder called src simplex and put our framework into it. So simplex is what we're going to call our framework. We could just in general call it framework, but by giving it a name, we'll distinguish it from other frameworks out there. So we'll go to our example folder, and inside of our source folder, we'll create a new folder called simplex. We'll jump back up to our main directory, expand this, and we'll take our framework and put it inside of simplex. Okay, now that it's in the right place, let's open it up and take a look. So we're defining a namespace for simplex, so any code that belongs inside of our framework will have this same namespace, and we're creating the class framework. Now, like we discussed in our object-oriented programming videos, for any property that's going to belong to the class, we want to define how it should be used at the very beginning of the class. By using the protected keyword, we're saying that we don't want anybody accessing these properties directly unless they inherit from this class or are an instance of this class. So we have matcher and resolver. Inside of our constructor, we're going to pass a matcher and a resolver, and we're using type hinting again here to specify what kind of class is expected here. And the reason we don't have to use the entire namespace here is because we're using the use keywords up here. So if we didn't have this use statement here, right here we would need to put this entire symphony/component/routing/matcher/URL matcher. So this is a lot easier to read. After these get passed in, we're setting them as properties of this object by saying this matcher equals matcher and this resolver equals resolver. And finally, we have a single method that we'll use publicly called handle, and handle takes a request object here. This code inside should look familiar by now. We have a try-catch block. We're adding attributes to the request that gets pulled out by using the match method of the URL matcher. We create a controller using the getController method of our resolver. We grab arguments using the getArguments in our resolver. And then we finally call userfuncArray. This code is identical to what we had before in our front.php file. Same with these two catches here.